All right, let's before we go and do some shout outs, let's talk about the conference realignment stuff that we touched on last week because what was it, last Wednesday the bombshell came out that Texas and Oklahoma were trying to leave.
Yes.
And we spent a little time on the show just kind of basically laughing at it. It seemed inevitable, and as it turns out, it is, because Texas and Oklahoma have now officially said we're out of the Big 12.
Yes.
It's done.
Yes.
It's they're I don't know. It's supposed to, what, 2025 is like when the contract runs out, but they'll find a way.
This is a force majeure situation.
They're going to force their majeure.
They're absolutely out of here.
Yeah.
And now we all wait and see what happens, because this is a super conference now.
The SEC is now going to be a super conference, and the reason I want to revisit it is because of the dominoes that have already started falling. We were speculating on what dominoes would fall. I guess none have fallen yet, but the chatter out there has my head spinning, Tate.
Yes.
And some of the chatter, as you alluded to at the very top of the show, the ACC and the SEC merging. Is it realistic? Is it not? I don't know.
Jay Billis says yes.
You throw it out into the ether, and I see that.
SEC.
Oh my God.
SEC.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you maybe trim some fat from the ACC, you know, maybe even from the SEC. You find maybe 4 schools like a Boston College, a Pittsburgh, and you know, basically say, we'll pay you this amount of money, maybe like, you know, $20 million to walk away from us. You know, good game.
You have a divorce settlement. With
This is a settlement. We're gonna go full Bezos here. We're gonna say, you take this money, you do what you want with it, and they all go to the Big 10. And the Big 10 says, with open arms, we would love to have Boston College.
Yeah, that would make a ton of sense. I think the Big 10 would gladly take the rejects from
the ACC.
Yeah, that's exactly what. Are you nuts?
No. They'll take them. We'll throw them up there, because you guys now would have to form a super conference.
First of all, newsflash: the Big 10 is already a super conference. It's the most profitable conference in this country. So
not going to be for long.
Well, it is right now.
Wait till the SEC takes over. So I think the big thing. Look, I love the Southern Conference. You know,
okay.
I think that's. If you look at it, there's just some traditional teams. And then if you look at the ACC and the SEC, Jay Billis made this point, there's the rivalries. You got North Carolina. We hate South Carolina.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay.
Clemson hates South Carolina. Georgia hates Georgia Tech.
Okay.
Florida hates Florida State.
Okay.
Kentucky hates Louisville. We already have the rivalries. It makes a lot of sense. But there are obviously some, you know, ancillary teams and programs that don't really have, you know, those ties and those rivalries. Virginia's going to be fine. Virginia Tech, of course, they're going to be okay. But if you're a Boston College, if you're a Pittsburgh, you know,
Syracuse.
Syracuse. Like, see you in the Big 10.
Well,
or maybe the Big East.
Why? I don't think the SEC would. I understand why you would think that they need to cut the fat, but I don't think that's the plan.
Wants North Carolina's market. They've tried over the years to figure out how to finesse it, and they've tried to talk to Carolina. They've tried to talk to NC State to get Carolina jealous. You know, they've done things.
I don't think the SEC, if the SEC absorbs the ACC, I don't think they need to get rid of any teams. I think having 30 teams is fine. I think that's their plan. I think the SEC's plan is. I think the SEC's plan is to have 1,000 teams. I think what we joked about 10 years ago happening when the conference realignment was going on, and then we started talking about, when we started the podcast, Manifest Delaney, that Jim Delaney's plan was to have literally every single team in college sports under the Big 10 umbrella. I think that's what Sankey's doing with the SEC. I think he realizes the writing on the wall is that the NCAA is dead. That we don't need the NCAA anymore. Yeah. That because I've made that point before. The NCAA exists to crown champions and to preserve amateurism. They no longer need to preserve amateurism.
Yep.
Now their only function is basically to hand out a trophy at the end of March Madness. Why do we need Mark Emmert?
We can do that ourselves.
We can do that. We don't need you to do that. We already do that. We already have our conferences and we hand out trophies. We don't need you, NCAA. The writing's on the wall. The NCAA is going to go away. So there's going to be a power vacuum. And the SEC, I think, is like, why don't we just get every single school? And now we are the NCAA.
Yes.
That's it. And that's what they're going to do. So I don't think they're even going to trim fat. I think they're going to try to...
No, but I don't think that they're going to go... I mean, it's the SEC. I think the SEC has like a line that they're not going to cross. Like, they're not going to go to the Western conferences. They're going to go to the Pac-12 and say, we want you guys. I think they're going to say, we want to create literally a super... basically, you know, G League or whatever, developmental league for baseball, basketball, football. And we're going to own this, and we're going to make it a monopoly and then cut out all these other guys.
But I think, and then the other guys are going to beg to get in. They're like, fine, get in, and we'll make more money from you. I mean, or like, either way, yeah. But I don't think they need to compete with, you know.
I think it might be 2 super conferences.
Yeah. That's where we're headed. And to that point, I think the dominoes that are going to fall is that because I want to reiterate a point I made on the last show, which is I was talking about the Big Ten going after Notre Dame, and I had people hit me up and say like Notre Dame's already in the ACC. They don't. Why would the Big Ten do? Why would Notre Dame do that? All that kind of stuff. Because there's also talk about like the Big Ten might add Kansas, they might add Iowa State, but why do they need to do that? The Big Ten's already set. They already have their number of teams. And I think the reason they're going to add teams is because of what I just said. There's going to be a power vacuum, and the Big Ten is like, take the old model of like, we have to have a small enough conference that we can play everybody in a round robin or like figure out scheduling.
Yeah, that's
throw that out.
Yeah. That doesn't matter anymore.
Throw out even the TV market idea, which is like the reason Maryland and Rutgers were added to the Big Ten in the first place was for the DC and the New York TV markets. They don't need that anymore because everyone streams everything. The TV markets are dead. That's old way of thinking, Tate. The new way of thinking is the NCAA is dying. There's going to be a vacuum of who runs shit in college sports. And it's basically going to be a two-way race between the SEC and the Big Ten because they're the two giants in terms of money that exist in in college sports. And then the Pac-12 and the ACC are like kind of behind, and they're like, are we good? Should we absorb? Should we do our own thing? The Pac-12 is like, maybe we just dominate the West. The ACC is like, maybe we can dominate whatever the hell the ACC is good at these days because it's certainly not basketball anymore. I don't know. So like, it wouldn't surprise me the Big Ten if
football. We're a football school,
dude. What if the Big Ten tries to get Carolina and Duke? What if that happens?
No, we don't. We're not going to the Big Ten. We're going to the SEC. We're going with the big money, and I think it's the end of the Big Ten. I think the SEC becomes a super conference. The SC is for super conference, and everything up in the Midwest.
You're trying to start a civil war. Is what you're doing. The way you're talking is like, I'm disgusted by the Big Ten.
I'm just saying, the Big Ten is secondhand news now, and the big money's down. Where Texas, Oklahoma, Carolina, Duke. That's where it is. That's where it is. It's in the SEC. That's where it is.
So it's gonna be you're gonna be like a Carolina Syracuse game, just chanting SEC.
No, Syracuse is out.
Okay.
We traded them.
You're going to the Carolina. It's Carolina, Virginia Tech, and Tate's in the stands just going SEC.
I want it to be simple. I don't want it to be this 5-man conference, where we don't even know. It's just, maybe we bring in UCLA. Maybe it's just like the southern part of the U.S. Like UCLA gets pulled into the SEC. You know what I mean?
But don't you think, to that point, is that good for the country that we literally define it by the Mason-Dixon line?
That's not what we define
you know
it
what I
Notre
mean?
Dame is also in the SEC. We're taking Notre Dame.
So what are you giving the Big Ten?
Nothing. Zilch. The Big Ten is dead. No, I'm honestly very upset because I love the ACC, and it is sad because you said it. I mean, there's two powerhouses with money, and they're going to draw in either the Pac-12 or the ACC, and I'm just trying to get ahead of it. You know what I mean? Because I know that it's inevitable at this point.
Yeah.
The fact that Jay Billis is already on TV and saying that a merger is the best option,
but
it scares me because what I grew up with, and I mean, we already lost some of it when Maryland left. You know what I mean? Like the ACC that I love, the ACC that makes sense. It's slowly been deteriorating over the years. I mean, even adding Syracuse and Virginia Tech and Miami, I mean, all these things were a little bit, for lack of a better term, wonky. So at this point, it just makes me sad. But if I have a choice, if I'm North Carolina and Duke, there's no way I'm going to the Big Ten. I'm going to the SEC. Because I'm going for the big money, and I'm going for CBS.
The Big Ten is the most profitable. What are you talking about?
I want football, and I want the best football. No. You have one program.
Money.
You have one.
Cha-ching.
You have one
Do you
program.
hear that? That is the Big Ten.
We are going to beat South Carolina every year. That's what I also want to beat South Carolina.
You want to beat South Carolina? All right.
Yeah,
I'll hear that. I'll hear that.
I need that.
But throw away the cultural
Georgia Tech meaning something. That's great.
That would be great. I'm with you.
Kentucky, Louisville actually matters.
But
now
I'm saying, why can't the Big Ten get some of those schools?
No.
Why can't Duke, Carolina, and Virginia Tech?
It's a super conference.
What?
It's a super conference.
The Big Ten, yes.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
You're a secondary conference.
You think the Big Ten is going to sit on their hands and watch the SEC build a 30-team conference and not try to poach some of these schools?
I think right now it's an arms race to see who's going to get UCLA. I think it's the SEC is already going to UCLA, and I think the Big Ten needs to get UCLA.
I think the Big Ten is going to go after basically every school. I think the Big Ten is going to call Virginia.
I'm telling you, the SEC is going to get Duke and North Carolina. I believe that.
Okay.
I really do believe that.
Okay. I understand that you want it.
You guys can have NC State.
I'm telling you,
trade you NC State.
I guarantee
but we are
you
keeping
this,
Wake Forest as well.
If Jim Delaney was still in the driver's seat of the Big Ten,
North Carolina
Duke,
grad, by the way.
Carolina and Duke are in the Big Ten.
Yeah, of course.
That's a done deal.
Exactly.
It's a done deal.
But it's a new era. I don't know what Jim Phillips is going to do, but if I'm Jim Phillips, I get on the phone right now with the schools we were talking about, the outliers.
So who do you think Jim Phillips has?
Looks like.
Former Northwestern athletic director is now running your conference. Who do you think he has ties to, the SEC or the Big Ten? Who do you think he's going to stack the deck in favor of when it's time to divvy up these schools?
It would make no sense. It would be bad for both parties. It would be a bad investment for the Big Ten.
Who are you in bed with the basketball challenge right now? It's not the SEC-ACC challenge, dude. That's not.
We're against Kentucky. Duke
no.
versus Kentucky, Carolina versus Kentucky in conference. Are you kidding me?
You have an opportunity.
Tennessee? I don't like Tennessee.
No.
I want to play Tennessee. Rick Barnes versus Roy Williams again. No. Oh my God, Roy Williams isn't even there. That just broke my heart. Rick Barnes versus Hubert Davis with Roy Williams in the background, kind of running things. The real truth of it is I'm putting on a brave face because I am very sad that the ACC and the Pac-12, the Pac-12 update, it could be going away very soon. So
I know the Pac-12, like the saving grace of the Pac-12 is that they're kind of on an island on the western half of that they could just
but the Big
build
Ten,
their own.
The Big Ten is calling them already.
I know the Pac-12 theoretically, I guess, could form its own super conference with like all the Western schools and like finally invite Gonzaga and just be like, we'll figure it out later. I know you don't have football, but like you're under our umbrella. San Diego State, come on. BYU, come on. Like we'll just figure it. Just start poaching teams and just have like this arsenal of teams. And it's like we have 43 teams in this conference. I don't know what we're doing with them, but we need them all.
Yes.
If you're in the Mountain Time Zone or the Pacific Time Zone, you're in the Pac-12. Congratulations. And we'll figure it out later. But yeah, that seems to be where it's headed, and it has my head spinning because the speculation, you could throw out anything and it makes sense. That's why Duke and Carolina in the Big Ten, you cannot refute that. If you're somebody listening to me say that, you cannot look me in the eye and be like, that can definitely not happen, because it could, Tate. It could happen. It could happen. I know it makes you sick. I don't understand. That is shocking to me that the idea of being in the Big Ten. I felt like
because the ACC, it would be like I'm going from number 2 to I think we're number 1, but I can understand why people say SEC is number 1 because we're talking about football and everything. But I just feel like it wouldn't be good for either party because we're going to be upset. Look at Maryland. Maryland's a perfect example. Maryland hates their lives. They don't want to be there. That would be us. That would be all of us. It's like we're literally Eric Bledsoe and Phoenix. I don't want to be here.
That you would have thought
that's
the SEC,
what we're saying to everybody.
The SEC thinks that they are the premier conference that represents the southern part of the United States, and you would think no, it's the ACC.
We're going to class up the joint. We're going to get the GPA.
I thought you would hate the
up.
SEC.
Yes, I do hate them.
Then why do you want to join them, dude?
I want to beat them.
What is this?
I want to beat them.
How do you beat them by joining them?
Over. I want to manifest the whole situation where the SEC runs the world. There we go.
What you're gonna beat them from within?
Yes, we're gonna dominate them.
Does that make any sense to you, Jim?
Yes.
What he's saying?
We are our own.
As the saying goes, if you can't beat them, join them.
No, we are going to join them, and then we're going to beat you guys.
But the idea that you hate the SEC so much that you're going to join the SEC to make them stronger?
I respect them, and I hate them. But, that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun games. Are you kidding me? If I could go Saturday college football, North Carolina's playing at Auburn, yes.
And no one's there because it's North Carolina. And
they're there. They're going to be there. We got the Heisman. We got the Heisman Trophy winner.
Or, hear me out, North Carolina, Ohio State, say... North Carolina.
I will not be at that game. Hey there, thanks for watching Titus and Tate. For the full friend of the program experience, subscribe right below and come join us for all things college basketball. The action is heating up. Come join Titus and Tate.